Welcome to Supernatural Japan, the podcast that explores the darkest corners of Japanese folklore, true crime, and urban legend. I'm your host, Kevin O'Shea, and today we're traveling to one of Japan's most spiritually charged and historically complex regions, the Amakusa Islands, located in the southern prefecture of Kumamoto. These remote islands are surrounded by breathtaking ocean views, lush mountains, and sleepy fishing villages. But beneath their beauty lies a much darker past. A past filled with religious persecution, rebellion, and the lingering presence of restless spirits. Before we dive into the paranormal, let's get our bearings. The Amakusa Islands are part of Kumamoto Prefecture, on Kyushu, the southernmost of Japan's four main islands. Kyushu itself is a region known for its rich history, hot springs, volcanoes like Mount Aso, and ancient trading ports. It's also considered one of Japan's cultural crossroads, especially during the country's feudal period. The Amakusa archipelago consists of over 120 islands, large and small, scattered across the Ariake and Yatsushiro seas. They're connected to the mainland by bridges and ferries, but they still feel like a world apart. Time moves slower there. Life is quieter. And the shadows, well, they linger a little longer. The people of Amakusa have historically relied on the sea, fishing, salt production, and trade. The landscape is rugged and green, dotted with churches, shrines, and hidden caves. It's this remote and isolated setting that made it both a sanctuary and a grave for the early Japanese Christians. In the 16th century, European missionaries, mostly Portuguese Jesuits, brought Christianity to Japan, and the faith quickly spread through the coastal regions, like Amakusa and nearby Nagasaki. Local lords in Kyushu initially welcomed these missionaries, hoping to build trade ties with the West. But the tides turned quickly. In the early 1600s, the Tokugawa shogunate viewed Christianity as a political threat and began a brutal campaign to eradicate it. Churches were destroyed, converts were tortured and killed, and those who continued to practice their faith did so in absolute secrecy. These underground believers became known as a kakure Christian, the hidden Christians. Amakusa became the center of resistance, and in 1637, the islanders, along with peasants from nearby Shimabara, rose up in what is known as the Shimabara Rebellion. Led by a charismatic 16-year-old boy named Amakusa Shiro, the rebels demanded food, fair treatment, and the freedom to worship. They made their final stand at Hara Castle, holding out for months against the shogunate's forces. In the end, it was a massacre. Over 37,000 people, including women and children, were slaughtered. Shiro himself was captured and executed. His head was displayed in Nagasaki as a warning to others. And the trauma of this event never truly left the land. Generations later, locals still speak of phantom voices rising from the waves. On calm nights, fishermen off the coast of Amakusa hear faint hymns, songs in Latin or Japanese, Christian chants, from somewhere just beneath the water, but no boats are nearby. In some versions of the legend, it's said that the sea carries the prayers of those who died at Hara Castle. These spirits trapped in the tides, still pleading for salvation. In the tiny fishing village of Sakutsu, you'll find a beautiful white church, Sakutsu Church. now part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Built on the ruins of a former police outpost used to interrogate and torture Christians, the church stands as a symbol of resilience and something else. Some visitors describe feeling watched as they walk the narrow streets outside the church, especially at night. Others have seen ghostly processions, figures dressed in old robes or kimonos walking silently through the town only to vanish before reaching the church steps. Inside the church, some say they felt sudden cold chills or heard whispers in unfamiliar languages. And tour guides will rarely mention these stories, but local elders will. So what do you think, Supernatural Japan listeners? Do you think a place that saw so many terrible things happen, a place that felt so much pain, do you think this would be a great location for a haunting? I think so. Across the islands, there are secluded sea caves where the hidden Christians once held secret services. These grottos served as makeshift churches, often decorated with camouflage religious icons, like statues of Mary disguised as the Buddhist goddess Kannon. These caves are deeply spiritual places, but they're also feared. In one story, a disrespectful tourist laughed while exploring a sacred cave near Ushibuka. That night, he experienced terrifying sleep paralysis, visions of drowning, hands pulling him under. His photos from the trip were mysteriously corrupted. Locals say that spirits of persecuted believers don't take kindly to mockery. So visitors be warned, if you enter, do so with reverence, or do not enter at all. And especially in a time like right now, where there are so many disrespectful tourists absolutely all over the place. And in Japan, we see it on the news all the time. So many tourists acting rudely, doing pull-ups on torii gates, carving their name into torii gates, doing all kinds of nasty things. Definitely. Not only will you make the people of Japan unhappy if you misbehave, but you may make the spirits unhappy as well. The Amakusa Islands are a place of stunning beauty and heavy silence. They tell a story Japan rarely talks about, a story of faith, rebellion, and loss. And they remind us that trauma lingers in the land, sometimes long after the last cry is heard. Whether it's a wind whispering hymns through pine trees, the shadows of Sakitsu Church, or the haunted caves by the sea, Amakusa is alive with memories. And some of those memories may not want to be forgotten. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the haunted past of the Amakusa Islands. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow Supernatural wherever you listen to podcasts and leave an amazing review and 5-star rating to help others find the show. You can also connect with me on Instagram at Supernatural Japan and our Facebook group, where I share episode photos, travel tips, behind-the-scenes content, and lots of extra things. All the links are below in the show notes. I also wanted to share some awesome listener feedback. Philip Jackson, Japan-based author and former guest and friend of the show, said on YouTube, "When I saw the name Doryodo, I thought to myself, I remember this one. I took down my copy of Paranormal Japan from the shelf and opened the book to its on its own on page 80, Doryodo, the Haunted Temple. A very, very supernatural or just a coincidence. Great episode, Kevin." Well, thank you so much, Philip. And if you haven't already checked out Philip Jackson's books, Paranormal Kansai and Paranormal Japan, as well as Hidden Paths Kyoto, go search them out on Amazon. You will not be disappointed. Now, William from the United States sent me an email, and he said, "I've started to listen to your podcast, Supernatural Japan. I am a fellow fan of Japanese mythology and folklore, particularly the kitsune and yokai. I enjoy listening to your episodes. They educate me on a topic I enjoy. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing more." And you know what, William? You asked for it. coming your way. There is a sticker, a few stickers, a few Supernatural Japan stickers coming your way in the mail right now. Of course, I'm happy to send those to you. They're on their way to you in the United States via Japan Post right now. And that's if anyone else wants some Supernatural Japan stickers, I have a few left. Just email me, of course, at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. Now, friend of the show and my friend Michael G. McDonald in Nova Scotia, Canada, recently wrote, really enjoyed the Supernatural Japan podcast episodes. I've gone back and listened to a few favorite ones again, but I love the new episodes. Excellent work. Well, thank you so much, Michael. I really, really appreciate it. Also, to all the new listeners who have joined us recently, thank you, and I hope you're enjoying all the episodes. Now, remember, you can also follow me, Kevin O'Shea, on X and Blue Sky at Mad for Maple, and you can always email your podcast ideas, your experiences, and your thoughts to me at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. Well, everyone, until next time, travel safe, be respectful of the spirits, and maybe don't laugh in the cave.